Hey guys, welcome back to Crypto Mischief. Richie here, where I talk about my favorite thing in the entire world. Goddamn cryptocurrency. That's right, electrifying. The most electrifying man in crypto entertainment. That's right. Today we're talking about Mintstake Share and why not having Moonyield is actually very good news. Yes, if you haven't heard, Moonyield for Mintstake Share is being moonlighted. It's essentially dead and done and finished. So let's just bring it up here. We do have Book. What's going on here? Book of Binance, which is a meme coin on the Binance Smart Chain by the same developer as Mintstake Share, Aaron, right? So what's happening is this. Moonyield Book USD update. Moonyield V1 has officially concluded. Liquidity has been removed from Moonshare and MUSD pairs, so they're done. If you're still holding MUSD and didn't get the chance to swap it, reach out to an admin via DM and they might be able to help, but there's no guarantees there. They did tell everyone in the community that it was being closed. The next chapter for Moonyield is upon us. Book USD. Book USD details. Visit www.bookusd.com. Stablecoin will be not MUSD, it will be BUSD. The share token will be called BUS, BUS, and the collateral token for the new Moonyield, which is called Book USD, is going to be Book Meme Token. That's right. So now Mintstake Share will have nothing to do with the lending protocol. And if you're a book holder, which we'll check out later on in this video, then you can now use your book to borrow stablecoins. Excellent stuff. They have a lot of other information going through this, which is shared in my announcement chat, link in the description for that. So you can go through that or check out the Book or Mintstake Share telegrams for the full details of that breakdown. So then why am I happy that Moonyield is essentially finished? Because I think it's great for Mintstake Share. I think there's enough on board with Mintstake Share for it to do very well into the future. And without the lending protocol, it is actually going to be just stronger, right? Let me explain why. So here we are in Mintstake Share. The price of MSS is 0.0038, which is down, but still up from the last Moonyield liquidation event. Yes, Moonyield liquidation events have happened 3 or 4 times with Mintstake Share. Essentially, that means that all of the troves, which would be composed of Mintstake Share token borrowing MUSD, were liquidated, and the majority of that was sold. The main reason I'm happy that Moonyield is now done is because the majority of funds which were put into Moonyield as MSS were ultimately sold by the people who got them in liquidations, which is why we often saw large dips in the Mintstake Share price when liquidations occurred. Without these shock events, that means that the price of MSS is now going to steadily either go up or down depending on user behavior without having mass events of somebody getting a huge amount of the token supply through Moonyield. So that is, in my opinion, really good news. Let's just check out what's going on here then. On my first one, I just did some actions earlier. I've got $14 to either compound or claim. And on base chain, where I'm continuing to build, suicide that one up. This is growing very fast. It's up to 3.5 million MSS staked in here, $13,000. And it's generating around about 60,000 to 70,000 MSS a day now, which I can compound to continue to grow this. So this is going to hit max wallet quite soon now. And then I'm going to figure out what to do from there. There are a couple of strategies I've been looking at, which are really interesting for really giving long-term passive income to your MSS stake. The NFTs, of course, are still available for Mintstake Share. There have been 41 BNB referred to users through the NFTs and $2,250. Currently, there are 126 NFTs purchased, which has burned 500,000 MSS out of circulation. You can see from these, it's doing pretty profitably, actually. So for my one, I haven't referred many NFT holders, but I have managed to amass 0.99 BNB in referral rewards from owning the NFT, which costs $200. So that's $600 back for the month. It's half a month actually for paying $200. I could have got another tier though, because these are tiered NFTs. If you do have further questions about how all the NFTs work, I do have a full breakdown slideshow, which is up and free for anyone to use. You can find that linked in the description where you can check out everything to do with MSS, but I have not yet removed the Moonyield parts from it, which are at the end. So just ignore the Moonyield for now, but you can find out about staking strategies. I have 2 here. You can find out about the commission you can earn in BNB and USDT from owning the NFTs and referring other people to buy them. And of course, the very generous auto stake bonus, which gives you 25% more MSS token by using the auto stake when you buy the token. And that's really juicy and it's forever. So that's really great too. So MSS, I think, is going to be going stronger and stronger now that we don't have the crutch in a way that Moonyield ended up being. The breakdown is that there's nothing wrong with the actual, the way that Moonyield works. It was a fork of a very successful platform called Liquidity, but that uses Ethereum. And using Mintstake Share token as the collateral token is not a good idea, turns out, because it's a high emission token. And the fact that people are claiming MSS out all the time meant that the price was often going to have a red day. And that led to mass liquidation events. And also the fact that people are claiming out a growing amount of MSS every day from their staking, which means that people were rotating their funds into Moonyield, but it wasn't actually fresh money coming in there. And eventually that rotated money from their staking into their Moonyield was getting liquidated out and sold. All in all, very interesting experiment on what you can do with high emission tokens, but something that didn't work out in the end. And it's now gone. So that brings us to learning then about Book of Binance. So this is the Book token right here. You can see that it's had a very large pump this week on the news that it's going to be the new collateral token for the new Moonyield, right? Which is going to be called Book USD. This pumped big, right? It's gone up 142% on the week, right? On that news. Why is it good for Book? So Book is a meme coin. It has a fixed circulating supply, which means no more Book can ever be made. Meme coins can have very volatile trading, so it might see red days here and there. But because there's no more tokens being emitted, that means anyone who wants to use the Book lending means that they have to buy Book. They must purchase it. They can't earn it from their stake faucet. They can't be in a position of ROI and earn more Book that way. They need to buy it, which will add buy pressure to people who are already staking it and lending it to get their stable coins back. You're going to be able to take a meme coin and get stable coins borrowed from your meme coin collateral. Unbelievable stuff. And the fact that the share token, which is going to be called BUS, I believe, is not having a pre-sale, which should see it have a much better performance on launch than we saw with Moonshare token, which did struggle from the get-go. And those APRs for staking your stable coin that you get from supplying your Book as collateral will be very high. I'm sure they will, because that's how these things work in the beginning. So let's check out Book. Book is over here. This is Book of Binance. Book of Binance is a meme coin. It's Book themed and it's on the Binance Smart Chain. You can buy it on PancakeSwap. You can join the Telegram. You can follow them on X. AI Agent running on X. They have an LP tool. And they also have a fun game inside their Telegram where you can pretend to trade tokens and actually win Book rewards that way too. I'm using the V3 LP tool, which I think is actually going to turn quite juicy for me now because of the upward momentum of Book's price. Now, I took a lot of Book token, thousands of Book token, and I locked them up over a month ago, right, into many positions. What happened here is my Book is sitting in these V3 positions, and as they mature, I'm going to be turning all of this into BNB as opposed to Book, and I'm going to be getting Book as reward for it completing its finish. You can see here I'm going to get 20,000 Book when this one finally finishes. This goes up as the price of Book outperforms the price of BNB. So I'm 30% done with this one. I'm 70% done with this one where I'll get 5,000 Book, 20% with this one where I'll get 30,000 Book. I'm going to get 12% on this one. It's going to get 25,000 Book. I'm going to get 500 Book for this one and 1,000 Book for this one. So I only need a couple X's now on Book's price to finish all of these positions and just get BNB back out of there. I can then buy back into Book. I can use it for lending. I also get Book rewards, which I can use for lending and borrowing of the stablecoin as well. So I'm really happy that this migration to Book is happening because in the end of the day, Book is a much safer token to use for a lending protocol. Risk. As I said, it's a meme coin. Meme coins can be privy to having large pumps and very large dumps in value. So that could trigger an event of liquidation, but there are going to be some tweaks and additions to the contract to secure that this likelihood is a lot lower than it was inside of Moonyield, which is good to hear. And really, also, I think opening the same contract with just BNB token as a collateral asset would be fantastic. Maybe Aaron will do that in the future. I think that would be really bullish. So it's all good. I like Mintstake Share. You know that. I make a lot of content on it. I like Book. I've made a couple of videos on Book as well. I hold both assets. And I'm excited to see what will happen now with Book, and excited to see how the Mintstake Share ecosystem will continue to be stronger with these additions that were made to the contract a while ago now. So it's been about 3 weeks since these contract changes were made to Mintstake Share. And just let's finish up by just briefly remembering what they are. The changes that were made are that we now have a throttle on our account. So if I come to Binance Smart Chain, where I have been claiming, I do have a 10% throttle on my Mintstake Share account, which means I don't get 10% of my compound power and I don't get 10% of my claims, right? So this is a big addition that was made to this. They have the auto stake function as well, which was added to it. So if you auto stake, you get 25% more tokens straight in there. These two working away are really gonna show the power of Mintstake Share as more people are claiming out more than they've deposited, more people will get throttled, which will lower the global APR of Mintstake Share. We still have the old rule that whatever I claim comes out of my deposits, right? So if I claim right now these 2,000 MSS, my deposits will go down to 1.007 million tokens. My collected will go up, which will raise my throttle. So over time, what we're going to be seeing is people who are claiming more than compounding and claiming more than depositing fresh capital are going to be strangling the amount of tokens that they can earn in the ecosystem. This will take a while to happen, but it is happening every single minute, and it's going to continue happening. With the NFTs, this offers a brand new way for people inside of Mintstake Share to continue to earn in other ways. Like I said, I've made BNB from just making content on Mintstake Share, sharing it with people. Therefore, I earn BNB and I earn a little bit of USDT as well, which I can then rotate back into Mintstake Share, or I can use in other things like buying Book or buying BNB or buying XRP or whatever you want to do with it. Okay, so that's my updates on what's going on with the MSS. They do have an AMA coming up. I suggest you check out their Telegram to find out the exact details on the date of that, because I cannot remember. I'm a busy boy. I've been Crypto Mischief. Be good to each other. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. I'm trying to get to, I think it's 30K subscribers I'm trying to get to. So let's use the power of YouTube and conjure 30,000 subscribers. Thanks very much. Be good to each other. As always, don't get wrecked.